So we are not bad. But, and here it comes, says the bishop, we can and we should do better. Otherwise, he says, if we don't try to do that, after 20 years, we may end up in the same miserable situation as many churches in Europe. Take, for instance, the country where I come from. In the years of my childhood, our Catholic Church was not looking bad at all. We had about 5 million Catholics. Our churches were full, even fuller than yours sometimes. We had priests. I think we had, let me see, 4,000 priests at those days. No, sorry, that is what it is now. We had 1,000, 4,000 priests. 1,400,000 priests we had, all in all. And more than 50% of the Catholics were still faithfully coming to the Sunday Mass. And now we have only 4,000 priests left. Tremendous drop of 10,000. And the regular church attendance has gone down to, say, an average of 10%. If I go to the church where my mother was baptized, and I was often staying there in my, that I was on holiday in Holland, well, the churches were closed on weekdays. I mean, no people coming. They thought. Well, I said Mass now. I borrowed the key and I said Mass, and gradually, dip, 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 some Catholics came to attend my Mass. You know. But for the rest, churches were closed. And on Sunday, the church was only attended by a number of people smaller than the number of people we have in the 8:30 Mass during the week. And at 3 weeks, there were communion services only, and the 4th week was a Mass. Can you imagine that? Compared to what it was in the past. And of course, there has been a steep decline also in other areas. Baptism, marriages, many people live together. They don't even get married anymore in the ROM even. Confessions, well, it's an unknown sacrament in Holland. Nobody goes to confession anymore there. It's stupid. Now, why this steep and dramatic decline? Well, there may be many reasons, but the bottom line, I think, is that many Dutch Catholics of the past, of my childhood years, had already lost their deep love for Christ. They went through the external motions of our religion, either because they didn't want to go to hell, or they followed their traditions. Father and mother taught them, they went with the flow. They did the minimum, cutting corners as much as they could. They fulfilled their duties. What a name, done doing your duties. But they had lost that deep personal relationship, that inner conviction, that deep personal relationship with Jesus Christ, which is the heart of our religion. So, when their faith came under pressure for some reason or other, they just gave it up. with the easy nonchalance of a duck that shakes the water from his feathers. I remember one of our fathers, who told me that his cousin or brother, I think, he finally, after many years of going dutifully to the Sunday Mass, gave up to go to Mass altogether, and he said to the father, actually I didn't feel in any way that I missed anything. It just did not appeal to his heart anymore. There was no inner conviction. There was no love for Christ. There was no understanding of Christ, even what he wanted to be and why he died. All that had evaporated in a kind of rituals which you go through, you know what you mean? What I mean? And that became, of course, that was a scaffolding that could not hold up the stress of the modern time with all its negative influences. And the Dutch, one after another, dropped out like the teeth in a rotten denture. And this is basically what our bishop wants to achieve. He wants to deepen in all his Catholics that inner conviction, that deep personal relationship with Christ. That's the point. With Christ, so that each of us may love him and consequently love one another also, again, with that great and boundless and generous love that made the early Christians so bold and so convincing. That is why he accepted our invitation to give us a personal retreat this coming Friday to Sunday. Mind you, to the best of my knowledge, this is something great and unique that has never been done by a bishop before, as far as I know. I've never heard of it, not in the whole world. So that's great. My only regret is that we could not open up this retreat to the whole parish, because we now already have 400 participants. 400. And you will understand that the number of participants would have been totally unmanageable if we had left the registration open to everybody. Perhaps next year we may be able to give others a chance. We will have to look into that. But anyway, this time we limited it only to the organizations. All the same, for now, if you cannot attend this retreat yourselves, pray for its success. Remember also that the evening masses, this is a practical point, remember that the evening masses of this coming Friday and Saturday will start at 6:30 and not 6. 6:30 and not 6. And after this retreat, we hope to invite you to another event, and that is open for everybody, a big parish assembly to consider the practical implications of our Christian faith, of our Catholic faith. But that is something for later. Amen.